morning, and thanks so much for joining us on After GMS on this Wednesday, November 11th. Today is Veterans Day. We're going to be talking about that a lot in just a few minutes, but of course, our thanks and appreciation are always extended to those who serve us. I'm Tracy McCain here in the studio with Megan Malaris. We have Ed Matthews, Tran Kirksey, and Stacy Spivey, all reporting for duty.
We are here. Ed Matthews got the task of broadcasting from the Weather Garden today, where it is pouring down rain. Lucky you, Ed.
Yeah, yes, indeed. We've had some pockets of heavier rain across the area. Generally light rain here in the garden now. As we take a look at the radar, we're seeing kind of off and on rain here in our part of the Piedmont this morning. Some pockets of heavier rain out over the foothills, and some of that will pivot our way as we go through the next several hours. So more pockets of heavier rain midday and through the afternoon. Good chance of rain through about midday tomorrow, and then it'll start to wind down a bit. Friday may actually turn out to be a fairly dry day. Low 70s today and tomorrow, upper 60s on Friday. Rain chances over the weekend are really fairly small at this point. Later Saturday and into Sunday, there may be a few showers, but only a 30% chance of that. The bigger story for the weekend is a turn to cooler weather with low and mid 60s Saturday and Sunday.
Well, today, as you mentioned, is Veterans Day, a day to honor and say thanks to all of the men and women who serve in our military. Normally, the day has ceremonies and parades and festivities.
Yeah, once again, the pandemic responsible for organizers having to cancel most of these events. And if it wasn't the pandemic, then it could be all of this rain. WFMY News 2's Candace Redd talked with veterans about how we can still pay tribute today.
Since 2013, the Jamestown Veterans Committee has held a Veterans Day ceremony to honor all who've served our country. But the committee recently made the difficult decision to cancel the ceremony this year due to rainy weather. Other Veterans Day ceremonies and events nationwide are canceled due to the COVID-19 health crisis. Alan Bowie is a U.S. Air Force veteran and says you can still honor veterans year-round by simply saying thank you.
You actually work for the government and you work their shifts. And you go anywhere they want to, and you could go overseas and have not a really good life, but it's for a good reason. And that's protecting us in the U.S. and all over the world. Veterans should be looked upon as heroes. All of them should be. When I got old enough, I went in the service. It learned a career field that has really prospered and made me a better person today.
You might want to also consider reaching out to veterans during these difficult times of isolation and social distancing. You can send a thank you card or a friendly hello with a phone call. For more ways on honoring our vets during these hard times of the COVID-19 crisis, all you have to do is visit our website, WFMYnews2.com.
Well, we're continuing that gratitude, that sentiment this morning, asking you to send in pictures of the veterans in your life. So, Stacy, you're keeping track of those pictures this morning. How's it going?
Oh my goodness, we have gotten so many photos. I would say from the time we started asking for them yesterday to now, probably at 100. A ton of photos. So I want to show you some of the ones that we've gotten in so far. And remember, if you want to send us a photo of the vet in your life, you can text it to 336-379-5775. Be sure to add their name, your name, and what branch of military they served in. Well, this is Michael L. Ash, and he served in the Army from 1970 to 1992. Michael's family sent this in saying, "We love you, Michael." And William Bill Hamby Jr. was a U.S. Navy Seabee. He's 82 years old and a cancer survivor. Thank you to his daughter for sharing this. And here's Mr. Waldrum, who is a retired U.S. Marine. He is now the proud father of 2 daughters and grandfather to 1 granddaughter and 2 grandsons. And a dear friend of David Marion Fields sent us this photo. He was a captain of the Marine Corps and died last year. Private First Class James Jim Moore served in the Vietnam War, and he passed away in September at the age of 73. Here's Richard Stone with his dog named Blue. He was with the Marines and fought in the Vietnam War as well. And lastly, this is Sergeant First Class Jeffrey Knuckles of Reedsville. I love the little princess in the photo next to him. But you can keep sharing, of course, to 336-379-5775. I've really enjoyed looking and seeing all these photos, all the ones from, the vintage photos back from World War II all up to today, people that are currently serving. And, and I just want to say thank you to all of those men and women out there who have served, the ones that we've been able to feature and the ones that we don't get photos in. I mean, it is just so important what they have done for, you and me and everyone in this country.
Yeah, I mean, many would call it a thankless job, right? People are risking their lives every day to protect our freedoms. Even during times of war and in times of peace. So we know that they risk a lot and can be called to action, active duty at any moment. So they are, and their families, we should mention, really do sacrifice themselves for the greater good. And we cannot say thank you enough.
Absolutely. So many veterans, everybody has a story. Everybody knows a veteran. My maternal grandfather was in the U.S. Navy. He was too young for World War II, but still had that desire to serve and was willing to do what was asked of him for his country. My paternal grandfather, he always told this story. It was very interesting. He was at the right age for the draft in World War II when he went to go sign up, and they told him he couldn't go. He had flat feet. And back then, that was devastating. Men and women wanted to go. They wanted to put their lives on the lines to serve our country. That valor, as I said yesterday, almost can't be replicated. That feeling of selflessness and sacrifice and service that, yes, we do still see today with all of our military members and their families who sacrifice along with them for that lifestyle. So, country comes first for them, and we cannot say thank you enough. Ed Matthews and Terrain Kirksey, you both have veterans in your lives you're thanking. Ed Matthews, anyone you want to shout out today?
Not really a lot of veterans in my family, but that certainly has not stopped me from being very grateful and very thankful through my adult life in these brave men and women serving in our military to keep us free here in America. So thank you, and although we reserve today as Veterans Day, we've got to remember them throughout the year as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better. I think you all touched on all good points. We just want to thank you all so much and your families for everything that you all do for us, like we said, during not only wartime, but also during peacetime, so that we can have times of peace here in this country. So we certainly do appreciate you all.
All right, so Stacy, a lot of people are sharing their gratitude on our feed this morning.
Yeah, we have Pamela who said thank you to all the veterans for your service to our country. And a lot of people talking about the rain, but Lawson said thank you, veterans. And Joe said happy Veterans Day. Thank you all for your service. And Trina says that she honors our vets as well. And I do want to quickly say that both of my grandfathers served. My dad's dad served in the Air Force, and my mom's dad served in the Army. And I have a quick funny story for y'all about my dad's dad. I called him Pawpaw. And when he was in the Air Force, he was stationed in, I believe it was over in Africa somewhere. And he said he was taking a nap one day, and he was in a Jeep that had an open top, and he was woken up by a camel who was like face to face with him. So I will never forget that story about how he woke up to a camel face to face.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really do feel like you have to start young. You mentioned that story when you were a child. Starting to educate the youngsters in our lives that the importance of serving our country and the people who choose to do so, because that respect has been, I feel like it's been lost over time, with people not realizing, the several conflicts that, they saved us from. So it really is an education that extends beyond the classroom. It starts at home with families. If you have someone in your life, let them know about it. I'm so grateful my dad told me about my grandfather. in all of his acts of heroism. I'm not sure if he did all of them because my dad can embellish a little bit. But, you know, in my mind, my grandfather was a superhero who could take on, you know, 10,000 men with one single fist, you know, and just the greatest American alive. And I appreciate those stories because I'm able to share them with my children now.
You mentioned education, educating young, and that is so key. And I think one of the ways to do that is even by just visiting one of the veterans memorials we have here in the Triad. Candace mentioned that in her segment this morning. We have the beautiful Carolina Field of Honor at Triad Park. We go there quite often just for walks, and I love reading the different stories on the different placards, and you can just reflect at the beautiful obelisk that's there. And you know, we also have the National Military Park in Greensboro and Country Park with the beautiful veterans memorials. Plenty of spots where you can take your kids and teach them about the service and sacrifice of our past generations and what veterans today are still doing to protect our freedom and democracy here at home.
Yeah, let's never forget their service and their sacrifice because it's so important. All right, let's get to some of the morning headlines right now at 7:56. Once again, Governor Roy Cooper ordering the state to stay paused in phase 3 of the reopening plan for at least 3 more weeks. He also made changes to gathering restrictions, limiting the number of people allowed at indoor events from 25 to 10 people. This does not impact businesses and their capacity restrictions, though. State health leaders say the increase in cases reported in October is largely linked to small gatherings, and everyone needs to be vigilant and remember the 3 W's as we approach the holidays. Guilford County school leaders set a new reentry timeline, bringing some students back to class tomorrow. Starting Thursday, November 12th, pre-kindergarten, kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade students will return in person full time. Then Monday, November 16th, some smaller specialized groups will return. All other students in grades 3 through 12 will return to in-person learning in January after the holidays.
In your political headlines now, U.S. Republican Senator from North Carolina Thom Tillis will serve 6 more years in Congress. As workers continued counting absentee ballots mailed in by the Election Day deadline, Senator Tillis's lead grew to nearly 95,000 votes, more than the number of absentee ballots left outstanding. Senator Tillis, remember, declared victory back on election night, but the race was too close for experts to call. Democratic challenger Cal Cunningham called Senator Tillis yesterday to concede. Cunningham released a statement saying, in part, quote, "I wished Senator Tillis and his family the best in their continued service in the months and years ahead. The voters have spoken and I respect their decision," end quote. Some races here, though, are still tight as vote counting continues. There are still about 90,000 outstanding absentee ballots as of this morning, and also more than 23,000 provisional ballots left to evaluate whether they're legal. On Tuesday, several counties tallied another 7,200 ballots, and remember, states can count any absentee ballots put in the mail by Election Day and received by tomorrow, November 12th.
All right, let's get back to another discussion here. The forecast, the weather, sunny and warm for a nice stretch of days. And now, where are we? Yes. Rain. However, the temperatures are pleasant, so it's both a positive and, depending on how well you work in the rain, it could be a negative. But we want to know how you enjoy spending your time in the rain, or what do you get done. Let us know about your rain experiences on our Facebook feed. So Stacy, how about you? Rain, are you good working in it? Does it make you tired? Are you more productive?
Well, I am not productive when it rains. I think it just makes me so sleepy, and the only thing I want to do when it rains is either curl up on the couch with my dog and watch Netflix, or just go take a nap. I mean, it's just the perfect excuse to be lazy, right?
Yeah, I always used to say rest and rain go hand in hand.
Unless you have kids.
Correct. And then I got married and had kids. So anyway, Taran, how are you on rainy days?
I'm the same way. I'll take a nap or just kind of sit and relax. I just like the sound of rain falling on the roof. I don't know, it's just something relaxing about it. So I'm not very productive when it's raining at all.
See, I feel like I am. I know that there's nothing I could be otherwise doing outside, so I'm able to focus and get things done. It does, of course, make anybody sleepy, I think, but I love listening to the sound of rain when I'm falling asleep at night. It's like Mother Nature's sound machine. It is so peaceful, but it's that much harder to get up in the morning and get ready for work, as I'm sure Ed Matthews can attest.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think it's an opportunity on a rainy day to get some indoor chores work, maybe a little cleaning or something like that. But you know what I do more often than not, and I bet Turan probably does a few things like this, because as I recall yesterday, you called us weather nerds. Both of us, you use that word nerd. I look at the radar. When I'm at home and it's a rainy day, I look at the radar on my computer or on my WFMY News 2 weather app, because I want to know when I'm going to have a rain-free moment to walk Rhea. And having said that, thank goodness for the pads that you put on the floor on those rainy days as well. But having said all that, what I really, really like to do is take a nap.
The warm temperatures kind of help things out a little bit. So, Stacey, have you taken a look at our feed? Are people talking about the rain and, you know, getting up and being active, or taking a nap?
It seems like most people are not active on rainy days. Lakia says it is truly the best sleeping weather. And Saturn says we love rainy days. And Wanda says it's nap time. R. Brian says, I love the rain. It's peaceful. And Nadine says, watching movies under a blanket on the couch. And I might be weird. I don't know how y'all feel about this, but if it's kind of thundering a little bit outside, nothing like too dangerous, I sleep best in that kind of weather. I don't know if it's just like soothing to kind of hear it in the background. I just like pass out.
I agree. I love just the calmness of the rain when I have a good sleep going, which is like every day now, because once I hit my pillow, I'm out. But I was talking to my husband this morning, and he said the kids are still sleeping, and he was whispering, and I'm like, why? He's like, I don't want to ruin this. This is like perfect. And I'm like, you know what, you're very lucky. You know what, take those days when you can. So they slept in, so he was just appreciating the calm before the storm.
Yeah, all I want for Christmas this year is an uninterrupted nap. Maybe I'll get it.
You might have to book a room.
Yeah. Somebody talk to my 10-month-old, please.
Yeah, I have a couple of places I've gone. The cars.
Oh, that's a good idea. The car.
I'll take Turan's secret. This little. I'm not saying you nap in the car, but you do like to hang out there.
I do like to hang out in the car. Yeah, it's quiet. I don't know. I like quiet places away from everything. I've always been like that, even as a kid. You know, I was like, oh, let's all go outside and play. I'm just gonna sit in the classroom because it's too much going on out there.
Wow.
It's too loud. It's too
He's
quiet.
always been a lone wolf.
I'm
Proudly.
an introvert. I am an introvert to the core. But I tell you what, if you are going to be doing anything outside today, definitely grab an umbrella and probably limit that time outside if you can. We'll have breaks in the rain from time to time, but all in all, it's going to be a fairly wet day. We're going to have more rain overnight, and that rain chance will continue tomorrow morning. And then we should start to dry out some as we go through the afternoon Thursday. And right now, Friday and Saturday, the majority of those days not looking too bad. We'll continue to kind of adjust the rain chances as we get some more clarity on how much moisture will be available. And it looks like the best chance of rain over the weekend, probably late Saturday on into Sunday. But for now, we'll just keep that at 30%. Temperatures Saturday much cooler though, behind that cold front with highs only in the 50s and low 60s. So there you go, a pretty straightforward forecast for at least the next 24 hours or so. Wet and rainy and warm. We'll take it.
Yeah, warm is the key. That umbrella whole thing, yeah, or whatever. But you know, tomorrow's another nice temperature day, and you know, we don't have to think about the cold for the next few days, so that's good. I know the half glass full is the way to look at it.
There you go.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for spending your time with us here on After GMS. We do this every day on the Facebook Live feed around 7:45. And happy Veterans Day to all the veterans watching or to your loved ones at home. We, again, can't say thank you enough.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody, we'll see you back here tomorrow for After GMS, or join us on the Good Morning Show. For all of those early morning risers, I'm with you at 4:30 in the morning. We'll see you then. Take care.